Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Booboo, Stewart, and Courtney Dietz about My Dead Dad, which is premiering at the Austin Film Festival. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
Courtney, this is like your third time on the show. I feel like you're like an auto remember now. Like I have to get you a mug or something.
I know, we're best friends now.
Booboo, this film is pretty cool. There's a lot happening in this film. What was your experience like working on a film like this?
It was very run and gun, which was really fun. That's actually my favorite way to kind of work. It's very loose. I had come in with like a certain character in mind, and we just kind of riffed on it, and we all explored it together, and it was very like swift, you know. It feels very alive when you're making a movie like this way.
Absolutely. And Courtney, I mentioned it's premiering at the Austin Film Festival. You were there for the festival. Has it hit you that it's kind of premiering at the festival, such an amazing prestige festival like the Austin Film Festival?
It hasn't hit me yet, but that's because I haven't been there yet. But and this is the first this is the first one that I'm able to be at this year or for this movie. So I'm excited to finally see a crowd reaction for the movie. Because I've only watched it in my home alone.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how just the landscape has just changed completely. I mean, you know, I'm obviously not going to the festival. I'm covering it virtually, but it's crazy. Like Booboo, like I know you've been to a lot of premieres and everything, and a lot of festivals. I mean, is it blowing your mind a little bit how because of everything that's happened, everything's just changing like year to year? Like it's kind of unpredictable now.
Yeah, you never really know. You know, you never know. I'm just so happy that our movie has these legs that it has, and it's really just like picking up steam. I feel like it hasn't really slowed down since I saw the first festival drop.
Yeah.
It's been like boom, boom. Pedro's always like,
something's going on. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of love for our movie right now. It feels like I feel like a lot of people, whenever they see it, they have like this warming feeling after seeing it, and I think that's why it's gaining so much momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to dive deep into it a little bit more. Obviously, I'm not going to go into spoilers. Courtney, what can we expect from this film in terms of the story a little bit? You mentioned kind of the heartwarming aspect of it, but like, what can you tell us about it, about your character a little bit as well?
Well, for the film itself, I feel like by the end of it, you just want to like hug Pedro. You want to hug Lucas, like from beginning to end. He's just like, he took over this. I think he did such a wonderful job, and he deserves like the round of applause because he did so great. But with my character, you expect the ending to be this. You expect it to end up like this, like love tale and like in Lucas's favor, and then it kind of doesn't end up that way. And I think that it was written originally to end up in a very typical love story type of thing, like but the film isn't about the love story, it's just a component to the film. So my storyline, you kind of expect it to go one way, and then it veers the complete opposite way. So
absolutely,
for me personally.
But what about your perspective about the film and your character as well?
My character's kind of a trip. He's kind of he is one of Lucas's old friends from when he was deep into skating, and he is someone who never let go of the skating lifestyle and has had success in it, living in LA, and he's let all of LA's like glitz and glamour definitely consume him, and but with that still, like, you know, Lucas was always the top dog when they skated, so that still is like very prevalent in the sense of like he's back and he still is like my older brother, you know.
Oh, absolutely. A general kind of question right now for both of you. We'll go to Booboo and we'll go back to Courtney. I mean, There is a lot happening in storytelling right now. You're both storytellers, you're actors, but that's what you both do. You're storytellers. There's a lot kind of happening right now. What do you like right now, Booboo, about the current state of storytelling? Because there is a lot happening, and there's some amazing stories being told.
What do I like, right? What about more specific? Like, what do you mean more?
Like, what is there any trends you're liking about it? Is there a direction in terms of how things are being made that you're enjoying? Is there a certain genre that you think is really kind of taking over? Cough, cough, the horror genre. I mean,
right? No, yeah, seriously, stuff like Midsummer and stuff like that's really kind of hitting hard. I just watched Titan.
Yeah,
I watched
it's
that last
wild.
night.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think one thing I like that movies are doing right now, the freedom that you have to really dive really, really deep into something and just go off is pretty big. And I really enjoy that. I feel like for a while it was getting a little like constrained. And it depends on what, that's the thing that's why it's so hard to say, like, I think this is that, because it really depends on the genre, where the movie's being placed, of what you can do. But if you are in an indie setting or like you're controlling what you're putting out, you can really do almost anything. And I think that's a really nice place to be.
Absolutely. Courtney, what about you? What do you like about storytelling these days?
For me, I'm like watching Squid Games right now, and then there's this brand new cherry flavor. Have y'all seen that on Netflix?
Yep.
I've only seen the first episode.
For which one?
A Squid Game?
Yeah, I've only seen episode 1.
Yeah, I mean,
are you gonna finish it though?
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, but even those type of shows right now, there's like the shock value that they're bringing to even like streaming shows. And you were just talking about like indie films, and I feel like even shows nowadays are starting to run their sets like an indie film, where they're like allowing their actors to have like more of a freedom and to improv and ad lib and do whatever you want. And we definitely got to do that with my dad. Like we played a lot, and I think that's what is bringing like the reality component of filmmaking to the screen, because people are now watching it from home and being like, oh, I could relate to this. Even Squid Games is like the most absurd, insane story. Like, we're not gonna die from playing games, but it's relatable because of what the actors bring to the show.
It's interesting.
And what we do.
It's so interesting you mentioned that about indie projects and indie film, because if you look at both of your careers, you both have worked on those big scale projects with the big budgets and everything going on. And you've also worked on the smaller projects as well, like Booboo with the Descendants movies. Courtney, you've worked on Hellfest and The Dirt.
I just watched Descendants. I just watched it, and I sent a video to Booboo the other day. It was my first time seeing it.
I don't think there was, I feel like there was no room to kind of prepare for how big that was, Booboo, those movies very quickly, because I feel like when it was announced for Disney Channel, it wasn't even out, and it was just, I remember it just being huge.
They go pretty hard. They went off. That's for sure.
It was pretty crazy.
It was so fun to watch.
They were fun to watch, but it's true. There wasn't any like time to like prepare, right, for what was to come, eh, Booboo?
I just remember like when I heard that Kenny was doing it, and when you have to like go in a room by yourself and they like shut the door behind you to read the script, you know that they're like keeping it on lockdown, you know?
Yeah.
And so like I there was a lot of air around it being like, this is gonna be something really, really exciting.
Yeah.
But at the same time you also don't really know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
But I felt in my heart that I was confident that it was gonna.
But it's interesting too, because my question too was, like I said, Courtney, like I mentioned, like Hellfest and The Dirt. I mean, they're just big. Like you look at them, and you know there was big production value, there was big like scenes and everything. And then you look at indie films and everything, and the focus seems to be more on the craft, right? Not that big sets and everything. Like, I find that very interesting. Courtney, do you like the fact that you go where the opportunities are as a storyteller, but it's pretty refreshing going from, smaller production projects and then bigger production than the other way around. Like, that's interesting too. I find different perspectives, different experiences.
Yeah. What I was saying before is that I do feel like even like the big projects nowadays, because I just got off, am working on I just got done shooting a pilot right now that's like bigger scale, and
I saw that announcement. Congratulations.
Thank you. but what I was going to say is that, and I was working on another show recently that's bigger scale, and even those shows are now like the directors and everyone, the crew, everyone's starting to like give the freedom to just like you know your character, you know what you're there to do, and like you can have discussions like with the directors and kind of have the freedom. Like I used to go on sets and be so scared of like having to be word perfect and having to do specifically this and this, but I feel like there's like this new age of filmmaking and storytelling that like is allowing freedom, and so even with bigger sets nowadays, I think that they're allowing that, from what I've experienced personally.
Yeah.
Which I love, because then you get to play. Like that's the whole reason we do what we do, is because we get to play and learn more about what like our characters want and what we want as our characters. So
absolutely. And before we wrap up quickly, My Dead Dad, people are going to get a chance to see it at the Austin Film Festival. It's exciting. Booboo, what are you hoping they get out of it when they get to see this film takeaway wise?
I don't know. I never like to say like, this is what I want you to like feel, because when you watch a movie, it's your own experience. You're going to connect to different. I think one of the great things that My Dead Dad does is that there's so many vibrant characters throughout the film that you really can, I feel like everybody in the audience can connect to somebody. Yep. So I guess I hope that you just find your connection, and that's really it. And then take the ride as it goes, because I never want to be like, you should feel like this,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to add to that, Courtney?
It's also visually beautiful, and I hope that people can connect to that, because it's just like, so that's like was my favorite part of watching it, was that they did such a great job of shooting such different, like all the different locations in a warm and vibrant way with these insane characters like Booboo. Like they still made it cozy and warm, but there's like Booboo's talking about like adult women while he's like a child. Like I don't know, these obscene things.
Man, it's crazy. No, I really enjoyed it. Everyone's gonna be able to see it. Booboo, Courtney, thank you both so much for coming on Popternative to chat about My Dead Dad. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
So yeah, it's premiering at the Austin Film Festival. People are going to be able to see it. Very quickly, where can people follow you two on social media to keep up to date with everything? Courtney?
Courtney Dietz is my social media. It's Diet with a Z at the end.
Amazing. Booboo, what about you?
And mine is just boobostewart.art. So.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Be sure to catch Booboo Stewart and Courtney Dietz and My Dead Dad premiering at the Austin Film Festival this year. Until next time, this is Courtney and Booboo and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.